What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com. WrestleMania weekend is also WaleMania weekend. He's back at it. Wale always has a who's who of guests there. One of those guys is Kazeem Famuyide. Kazeem, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you living, bro?
I'm fantastic. It's a big week, obviously, and you got a big week
Huge
ahead.
week.
You got a big one ahead of you as well.
Yeah. WaleMania weekend. It's the first time I'm curating this bad boy. And then, I'm really excited about it. We got a lot of guests, a lot of surprises. I can't wait for it to happen, man.
Where can people pick up tickets for WaleMania?
You can go to either SonyHall.com. You can go to Ticketmaster.com. If you have Spotify and you're a Wale fan, it'll pop right up as soon as you play a song of his. My Instagram at RealLifeCaz, Wale's Instagram, literally anywhere. Just Google it. You'll find it. But tickets are damn near sold out at this point. So good luck if you haven't gotten them yet.
And I mentioned a who's who is there. I mean, Wale is in good with a lot of people, as are you with people in WWE. So you never know who's going to show up there. And it's one of those events, like a lot of the WrestleMania weekend stuff, unless it's access, you're probably not going to run into WWE stars, but never an issue at WaleMania.
Yeah, and that's kind of the vibe I was trying to help curate for the past couple of years. Like, I wasn't kind of putting it together in an official capacity yet, but just kind of being with Wale and just like kind of being like one of his like confidants while he created this thing with Court Bauer, who runs MLW now. It was something that like we thought that wrestling needed. Like we go to All-Star Weekend all the time. We go to Super Bowls. We go to all these big sporting events. I was just like, there's not a place to really just like kick it and have fun and like, really just party, and the first time we did it, like we kind of felt like, we got something here, and it was a little harder to do back then because it wasn't really easy for to play nice with other companies, and everybody's just really cool now, and I guess like there's just a lot of equity built up in the past years about WaleMania, so I'm really excited for it, man. I'm really excited for it.
And I mean, Wale is like beloved within the wrestling world because he's a legit fan. I mean, the guy loves wrestling. The first time I ever spoke to Wale, he hit me up to find a New Japan stream, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, what? What's going on here? I mean, he loves wrestling.
Yeah, no, he's a big wrestling fan. He's like not just a mainstream wrestling fan. Like he will find wrestling in any way, shape, or form. Like any like crevice of the world. Like I wouldn't say obsessive, but like he kind of obsesses over everything that he really likes, whether it's hip hop, whether it's sports, whether it's wrestling, whether it's rhyming, like whether it's any of that stuff, like if he likes something, he obsesses over it. And that's kind of what he feels with pro wrestling, man. And a lot of that goes to a lot of wrestlers kind of have benefited off of that. Like, I know for a fact, I don't think, Apollo Crews or Uha would have met Mark Henry if it wasn't for, Wale tweeting about him, and guys like Lio Rush, guys like Ricochet, got like a whole lot of dudes, man. And especially like young black wrestlers. Wale has always been a champion to a lot of these guys. So, his fandom has kind of helped a lot of people.
And it kind of comes full circle with you because when you were working for WWE, I know that you did some writing for Lio Rush. To see a guy who you're working with almost be a product of another guy that you're working with, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I literally remember the first time I saw Lio Rush, and I don't even know if I still have the tweet up or something like that, but I remember going to a Ring of Honor show. I think it was Final Battle, and he was performing there, and I was like, dude, this guy's amazing. And I just tweeted his video. I don't even think he remembers me tweeting the video, but I remember he followed me afterwards. And like, social media is funny because it kind of gives you like a weird sense of community, even if you never really met. So like, once we kind of connected on social media, we met that WrestleMania at in New Orleans, and we just kind of hung out for a while and really shot the shit. And then it was just funny that like months later, I ended up working with him, and when he was getting called up, or when I was doing stuff at 205 Live, and he was getting a lot of attention with like social media and stuff, and just working with him on that, his work caught the eyes of the right people. And right after that, he got called up to the main roster, and he got to do a lot of cool stuff that he's doing with Lashley and, on his own. And he's more than just like a coworker. Like, he's a good friend, somebody I look out for. He's almost like he's like a brother to me now. So it's crazy how much we've grown in the years past, thanks to like social media and like music and stuff and visual interests.
I mean, it's amazing because a lot of people don't expect stars of that caliber to give wrestling the time of day. I think it surprises people. But I mean, if like I can tell you that people that follow me, like I would have never expected them to be a pro wrestling fan. For the love of God, Melissa Joan Hart, I became friends with Clarissa because of wrestling. Yeah. P. Diddy follows me because of pro wrestling, and I'm like, what's going on here, man? Do you see it as more socially acceptable than it was in years past?
I think I honestly think social media has helped the norm, like helped normalize wrestling fans so much. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of a wrestling fan, like you might have like your own sort of picture in your head of what that person might look like or something. But like social media just made the world so much smaller that like you ever read a tweet about like somebody like talking about how they grew up, like holy shit, like I did the same thing when I was growing up. And it's like everybody just kind of had the same sort of experiences. So I think it is a little bit more socially acceptable now, like I think the only thing whack about anything is being fake about it.
Yeah.
Like anything, like nobody cares. Like it's 2019, like nobody cares what you like. If you love it, I love it. Like if it's something that you're passionate about, if it's something that you love to do, if it's something that you like to enjoy, just enjoy it. Like don't be fake about it. Don't be a closet fan. Like, just be real with yourself. Like people are attracted to authenticity. And I know for a fact, like, coming from my background, like working in the music industry and like working in entertainment stuff, when people found out I was going to WWE, they were legitimately like excited and happy for me because they all know like I'm a true blue pro wrestling fan, and that's something I was passionate about. In addition to music, like people who have nothing to do with wrestling, like huge rappers, like it's like everybody, so they were all like legitimately excited. So I just think people are just drawn to authenticity and drawn to people who are real about what they like. And I guess that whole weird stigma of being a wrestling fan is like slowly but surely kind of fading away,
You mentioned your work with WWE, and I got to ask you, 'cause you were on the inside. You were there. I got to ask you.
I was in your home inside. I was watching from the shadows.
How did Bobby Lashley versus Elias never end in Elias breaking a guitar over Bobby Lashley's ass while he was bent over?
Listen, you don't want to do anything to that gorgeous ass. So I think that's why
it would have been like when they do the ball bat thing where they accidentally hit the ring post and it actually hurts the person with the bat's hand. That's how it would have worked with Elias. It would have just bounced off of Bobby's ass. And Elias would
have went through Elias's head and was like, oh man, you see?
It would have been damaged. You also had a part in another Elias segment, which was one of the best received things of all 2018. That Seattle Supersonics thing. When you see that unfold, you got to be like, yes, home run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when that's going on, like I'm in Gorilla, and like you're in a room of like who's who of people you like grew up watching, right? So like it's almost like I can almost like compare it to like American Idol, like when you walk out into the audition and like you got Simon Cowell and Paul Abdul and Randy Jackson, it's like sitting there, it's like now you got to do your thing. And mind you, they know what's coming, but it's after that, like it's all about how the crowd reacts to it, how it comes up on TV, and if you kind of make sure you hit your points and hit your notes. So, we say we're good on time and everything. So there's certain moments, and, obviously the Elias Seattle thing was huge, but there was a whole lot of moments where you kind of feel it as it's happening, and, like, you get, like, not even goosebumps, but you're just like, man, it's almost like when you know a good part's coming up on a movie, and you want to chat somebody like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Watch what's about to happen here. That's kind of how it felt with the Elias segment. But with that, it was a little different because I knew how passionately Seattle felt about their Supersonics, but Elias really didn't know. So he was kind of like, "Yo, you sure this is gonna work?" I remember vividly right before going out because we had a whole other thing written just in case because we were kind of not comfortable with it yet. But I think it was either Vince or my guy Ryan Callahan, who was the head writer for the home team, who helped write that. Was basically like, "Now we're gonna just go with the way it's written." And right before Elias goes out, I was like, "Yo, you sure they're gonna react to this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna react to it." So once it happened, he came back out gorilla, him and Kevin Owens and Lio, and we were just laughing up a storm, like, holy shit, like that was something, you know. And it was one of my favorites.
Now there was a time last year, and I don't know if you'll remember this, but they had Kurt Hawkins versus quote unquote James Harden, and I've mentioned this before, and you mentioned it in the Uninterrupted pods. Like, Fightful was leaking some scripts last year. On that script, I noticed that the name was originally Steph Curry.
Okay.
Did you happen to see that? Like, did somebody step up and say, "Hey, wrong city, we need to rename him"?
I don't remember. My fault. Sorry. I don't really remember it, to be honest. It was such a. I mean, shout out to Kurt Hawkins. I love Kurt Hawkins, but like we would name jobbers just after anybody, you know, like we would name jobbers after like people who worked at the company and you know, people whoever, just to kind of like pop ourselves, you know. So, you know, if it was something like location heavy or something like that, it would just be something just to kind of like get a rise out of people or whatever, or just something quick just to make people laugh. So. I mean, I don't really remember. I don't really remember like that whole script changing, or that script leaking saga. I just remember it was kind of, I just remember it was being a rough time around that time. But it was kind of intense. I guess it was kind of intense. I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. But apologies. But I mean, I hear you talk about it on Uninterrupted Pod, and I loved that show. I thought that was a great look of what it's like. And I mean, I had said when you were working there, I was like, I don't know that anybody has their finger on the pulse of today more than you. And when they come in and they're like, "Hey, this shit's getting out," and I mean, I can tell you, I don't think I ever spoke to you until after you left WWE, but I mean, to have that finger kind of pointed at you guys, what is that like? Because I can tell you, it wasn't any writers that did that.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and it wasn't necessarily us specifically getting the finger pointed. It was just more like all right, like it was just everybody was just kind of under the gun, like every single person there, you know. So it wasn't just like the writers catching heat for it. It was just everybody, you know, and. It was kind of a kick in the dick too, because it was like, you know, you're working really hard and like this is stuff that you've been working on all week, and a lot of that stuff you're working on the day of just to make it just right, and then like there's certain versions of it that come out, and everything always reads terribly or great, you know, because you all have like your own kind of imagination of what it's gonna look like in your head. So I mean, it was just. I don't know, man. Like, I might have had some heat with you for a second. I was like,
probably.
Yo, all the time. I'm like, bro, yo, we worked really hard on this shit. Like, you're gonna fucking leak scripts? Like, you're gonna leak, you know, like the shit that I'm my livelihood? I'm like, damn, it was kind of a kick in the dick for a while. But, you know, I was kind of, you know, I'm glad that stopped and, you know, just kind of turned that into something that, you know, it wasn't. So. I don't know. It was a weird time, man. Like, it was kind of an annoying time as well, but I'm glad that it all got settled eventually.
It did get all settled eventually. I'll tell you some more about that off the air, but we're here to talk about WaleMania, obviously. What are you looking forward to the most out of WaleMania? I know Wrestle Rap's going to be there, and there's the post-show as well, or the after party. I mean, I always hear such positive things. That's more than anything, more than like a WrestleMania or an NXT. I would like to go to WrestleMania weekend to meet people. It's always such a crazy coverage thing. And I never do, and then I see the pictures emerge from WaleMania, and I'm like, should have went.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing with WaleMania, man. Like, we definitely just want to have fun. You know, we definitely want to just, it's, man, like, I kind of appreciate it more now than before I was working at WWE, because it's like, I see why so many wrestlers come out to it, because they kind of need that escape. They need to just come and relax and kick it and have fun and, like, get celebrated and not feel like they're working all the time, because they work so much. They travel so much. They never really get, like, downtime when they're on the road. Like, it's hard. Like, it is a hard job, not just the talent, just, like, everybody under that roof. So it's like, you know, I see why it was kind of not easy, but, like, I see why so many people were, like, amped for it, because it's like, they get to take their cool off for a little bit. So as far as what I'm looking forward to the most, man, like, I would definitely say, like, the party. I mean, like, the party's probably the best part about this. But, you know, it's always a lot of really fun surprises as well, man. Like, I love to keep people in the dark about certain things, and you know, just having people just kind of, you know, we'll be doing a live podcast, and then, you know, one of your favorite art rappers will show up, one of your favorite wrestlers just pop up, you know, and that crowd reaction is something that you can't really replicate. But it's not necessarily like a surprise wrestling pop. It's like, I remember my favorite part, I think one of my favorite surprises was, I think, a couple of years ago with Samoa Joe, where, like, the party's already going on, and, like, Wale's performing and everybody's having a good time. And then, like, Samoa Joe just kind of bulldozes his way through the crowd and walks on the stage. And then everybody starts chanting, Joe, Joe, Joe. And he just starts, like, dancing on stage and partying. Like, it's just a really fun, loose time for everybody, man. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Because it's like, you work all year to get to WrestleMania. You work all year to get to this big event. And you want to just, you know, enjoy it a little bit more. So that's kind of that's definitely what I was looking forward to the most.
Well, check it out, guys. It's live at Sony Hall. The doors open at 7 p.m. Thursday, April 4th, New York City, WaleMania 5. Kazeem, I've got a suggestion. You draft up a script for this show, and then you leak it to me.
Yeah, okay.
And then it comes full circle. It comes full circle.
Oh, boy.
Between us.
You're gonna have people thinking I was leaking scripts to you at this point.
Oh, man. Well, see, I was afraid of that when you first followed me. I was like, man, I don't know this guy, but honestly, the person who did it, nobody would ever know anyway. So it rolls on.
I'm sure they wouldn't, but the show keeps moving, man. Fuck it.
Kazeem, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Follow him at Real Life Kaz. He has a fantastic Twitter account. Anything else you want to get out there?
Yeah, nah, man. Just see you guys Thursday. Come with the good vibes, and let's get ready to drink and have fun and be safe in my city, in New York City.